This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Magazine publisher and entrepreneur Judith Mancini is sharing captivating conversations with experts in their field about the latest trends in our ever-changing world to help you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. Judith Mancini today will spark your interest and inspire you to lead your best life ever. And now, here's Judith.
Happy holidays. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Judith Mancini today. Thank you for joining me. We're going to talk about some of the ups and downs of the last 3 weeks before the new year starts. What do you have planned? Well, first, you have to get through the Christmas and Hanukkah holidays and any other holidays that are happening that I forget to mention. I want you to think about the most important thing is your family, your friends, your country. Most of all, God. I want you to be grateful. I'm grateful for so many things. I'm grateful that my daughter is hosting Christmas. I'm not so happy about having lost my son and missing him at every Christmas celebration, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, everything. So a lot of us have things that hurt our hearts, and we have to remember that there are other people involved. And for their sake, we need to put on a happy face. A happy face, and remember all of the good times we shared together. And moving on is very difficult. But let's think about Charles Dickens and Mr. Scrooge and the Three Ghosts, and the ending of that, where he finally understood that Christmas wasn't bah humbug. It was merry and jolly and dancing and wonderful food and drink and being together with friends and family and being kind to each other and being grateful. So that's what I want you to start thinking about if you haven't already. And think about your plans for the new year. Now, many of you are grandma mamas like me, and some of you are younger women still in their 50s or 40s. I have all ages that listen to me. A lot of young women like to consult me on menopause. Well, it's not fun. That's my bottom line on that one. So think about other things over the holidays than those little problems that seem to follow us around wherever we go. Think about the happy things like staying healthy, wealthy, and wise, and how you're going to greet your guest, or how you're going to be a good guest when you're going to some of the holiday parties and celebrations on the day of festivities. You want to always look happy. Don't forget, because you're grieving or because you're unhappy that somebody in your family lost their job, this is going to be a tough holiday season, because we're changing our country back to being better. I know that sounds crazy, but think about the good things that have happened. And even if you have Trump syndrome, get over it. Think about the good things, that this is a free country, that we can speak and say what we feel, and that you can talk about your dislikes and how you would like to change the country. Talk about your friends who have people in the armed forces overseas and they won't be home. It always touches my heart when you're watching something like a football game or something close to the holidays, and they take videos of some of the people serving overseas, and they'll say, "Hi, I want to say hello to my grandma, mama. I want to say hello, mom and dad. I want to say hello to my girlfriend or my boyfriend." It touches my heart. They're protecting us and they're away from home during this important family time. So think about those people when you're out. And when you're out shopping, let's think about something else. What do you mean to be teaching your children or your grandchildren or your friends when you're buying them gifts? If you're struggling right now financially, I would say let's try to cut back a little bit on the holiday festivities and maybe take turns threading cranberries to put on the tree, something fun like that. What I want you to do, though, also, because a lot of you want to do the side hustle and do a podcast, do all sorts of things in your later years. You're taking up new hobbies. You might want to paint something in particular next year. You might want to sit down and write your goals and what you've accomplished this year towards that really strong feeling you have about a particular goal. And write down what you want to accomplish in 2026. Yikes. And what you did accomplish in 2025. Okay, I'm honest. I sat down and wrote my goals about in the middle of 2025. I revised them and I said, one of my goals I want to complete before the end of 2025 and launch at the very beginning of 2026 was my new newsletter. But it's not quite working out that way. I have so many obligations to other things right now. So I'm not giving up. I'm just putting it as more prioritized on my list. It's up there and what I can do to reach that. One of the things I've done is welcome AI into my life. I said I wouldn't. I didn't want to learn about it. I didn't want to become more techie. And believe me, if anybody knows, Juan knows, I am not techie. So I put down on my goals, and as the year kept getting shorter and shorter to the end of it, I decided to take some computer classes and some tech classes from somebody I met through my new business venture, LifeWave. So she is helping me on everything. I still haven't figured out how to get my phone to stop ringing on my laptop. And Juan is so wonderful. Every time I have a problem and I can't fix it, I get on here and before the show, I go, Juan, please help me. I don't know how to do this. And he always helps me. So I thank you, Juan, and wish you the happiest of the holidays. So make that list. And you used to do it as a child, in making a list and checking it twice. That's what Santa does. And you used to write down your goals or what gifts you wanted to have. Make this your gift to yourself. Write down that list of goals and see what you can accomplish in 2026 and not have too many hanging over 2025. 3 weeks. We have got 3 weeks. We do have the holidays, the actual holiday in there, so you need to work around that. You need to kind of have a new mindset for the holidays. I think you need to make a little more time for yourself. You get to be so busy. Maybe this year you don't want to decorate your dining table exactly like you used to. My home used to be so over decorated. It was beautiful. People would talk about it all the time. And it was so fun to do. And I used to love to do that. But we've downsized now. So we don't entertain at home because it's too tiny. I did have 2 friends over for cocktails one night with barely any place to sit. But we did that on purpose because we lived in very large homes. and enjoyed them and had the kids in and out and grandkids staying with us. And even friends from out of town would come and visit us all over the country when we were moving around for business reasons. So things have changed, and I cut out a lot of things to give myself more time and concentrated on better gifts for the kids. Now, Megan, if you're listening on your break or whatever, listening later, please don't let the kids watch this one, because I'm going to suggest some things to grandma mamas and grandpa papas, and even moms and dads when you have little ones at home, or they might be nieces and nephews or cousins or what have you. Think about what you're gifting them this year. Even moms and dads, think about what you're gifting your children from Santa. Let's try to stay away from technology. I know that sounds horrible, but I really don't think kids should have phones until they are mature enough to take care of them. And the public opinion about that seems to be age 16. I don't know why they thought up age 16. I always think of sweet 16. It's kind of the time between 16 and 18 when girls used to be presented to the world to start dating. And that was when they were supposed to be dating and dancing and choosing their husband. Oh my God, how archaic is that? But they still do that in high society. And it's just a wonderful time now. I don't think they're seriously looking for husbands, but they are looking for new friends. And that's a wonderful thing to do too. So do go to those holiday parties and enjoy yourself. Back to the gifts. Now, this may sound strange to you, but the littlest grandchildren we have 4 grandchildren, 3 boys and 1 girl. Our youngest ones are my daughter's children's, and they are 11 and 7. And we've done every single Lego there possibly could be, and you don't need to worry about hurting your feet because the paths may just be like the yellow brick road. You could just walk down it in your bare feet on top of the Legos. They have so many. The highlight of the little 7-year-olds was 2 years ago, they went to Legoland. We didn't go with him, but that must have been just so much fun for him. So we're away from the Legos. I do send them books periodically for birthdays and Christmas, and just to give them to them because I don't want them to forget reading. Reading is so important. Fortunately, my daughter loves reading, and so she makes sure that the boys read every day, away from school, at home, at quiet time. So that's a wonderful thing. So I didn't want to give them a book. So my husband and I discussed it. And, since the president stopped printing and producing the penny, there's lots of pennies around, and people are lining up at banks, at least at my bank, trying to get rolls of pennies. Of course, they don't even have any anymore because so many had a run on pennies, which gave me an idea. I have, in my work life, my business life, I had to go to many meetings out of town and many conventions, many presentations of new products, and a lot of times they would give you silver dollars or a memorable memory silver dollar that they had struck themselves or had struck with the name of the company and the United States and the new product or the company, basically. And they were 100% silver, or whatever the ratio is to what it is to hold it together. And silver dollars themselves are hard to find. So is a 50-cent piece. And quarters there are some quarters that are extremely valuable. So where am I going with this? We've never collected $2 bills. Somehow I have 2 of them that I kept. I don't know why. Maybe somebody gave it to us at a party or a meeting or something. So I have 2 $2 bills. And I have 2 of these silver, all silver, 100% silver, 99.9% silver, memorable, the size of silver dollars. Well, I took it to a coin place the other day just out of curiosity and see what the value of one of these would be, because I thought, okay, maybe it's $1, maybe it's $10. I don't know. Well, I was very shocked and surprised. I heard a much larger number. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You go find out for yourself if you have one of these. But if you have access to silver dollars, keep those too, because they're becoming rare. Everything's going to become rare because we're going to go to the digital dollar. I mean, BRICS and China and all these people are trying to get us to do that now. So never say never, because that's what we said about AI and robots, and look what's going on. So never say never. What I'm getting at is we are giving our 2 grandboys that are the youngest, the 7 and 11-year-old, the beginning of a coin collection. I've always put my spare change into this lovely Indian container. It's like a vase. Or you might have put water in it. And I've always put my loose change in there, and I end up always having a lot of change. Well, a lot of change to me is $50 and above, and I've always had that in my spare change in there. So I have plenty to give. We are starting their coin collections so that they can do this through the years and do it together and read about the coins and when they were struck and the paper dollars and the $2 bills. And you never know, for their birthdays, they may get bigger bills, like a $20 bill or a $50 bill. You never know. So I think it's something that you could do with your grandchildren or your children that would instill in them to appreciate money, appreciate the origins of money and how beautiful they are. The same thing with stamps. Now, we've never collected stamps. We've never really had a coin collection either. But I decided it would be something fun for them. And they get all that money under their pillows for their teeth that get pulled out by the tooth fairy. Maybe the tooth fairy will leave them something interesting. So we'll let you know how that goes. But we got the big folder to put the coins in, and it has little tiny booklets in it so that you can look up the different dates and the different images that are on the different coins, and it will tell you what it might be worth to another coin collector. And they're learning something, and they're not on a screen scrolling. At least they better not be. So that's one thing we're doing for them. And then I like to give them goofy clothes. And this year I'm giving them each a t-shirt. And one is for the youngest one, is about NASA and outer space. And it's got the stars on it and the planets on it. And it has spaceships on it and all that. So I thought that was fun. But why I really decided to get these t-shirts that I saw that were so cute at Target is because I found one with Willie Nelson on it. And the last time we went to the Hollywood Bowl, my husband and I, my daughter and one of her friends, and my son and his wife, was to see Willie Nelson. It was several years ago, and it was the last time. I used to be with my son at the Hollywood Bowl quite a bit. So those are fond memories, and I wanted them to have them with Willie Nelson. I don't know, do you all know who Willie Nelson is out there? On the road again? And that's actually what it says on the t-shirt. So be creative, and maybe you can tie it in with your goal of what you're doing. Maybe you're thinking of a side hustle with doing coaching. Maybe you want to get into that collector's area of coaching. I don't know. Think about it. Anyway, think about things that are well used and makes everybody happy, not just junk that will be broken before the day is done. So I want you also to think about, as you're going along with your day and planning next year's goals and planning how to get through the next 3 weeks with the holidays. Many of you are still working, so you're going to be in the office or working from home or whatever. So you need to look at your time chart very carefully and block it off so that you can accomplish everything you need to accomplish, not just your work. Do a separate one for work and business, and then your personal one over here. And on the work one, you can be in detail. 8 o'clock, phone call with so-and-so. 10 o'clock, meeting by Zoom. On the other one, for yourself, I want you to put in the block of time you're going to dedicate to business or whatever. Put in a block for Christmas shopping. Put in a block for grocery shopping. Put in a block for lunch with the girlfriends over the holidays. Put in a block for decorating, gift wrapping. Block it all out and be sure to slow down a bit and block off time for you to rest, whether it's to sit down with a book or it's to take your time to go walk around nature. Nature is such a cure for everyone, and everyone's talking about it now. And you know what? In some places, there just aren't the parks and the places to walk around. Some neighborhoods have old trees in them and it's shady and you can walk around and enjoy it. I find the best walking places and parks are in places like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They have 4 or 5 huge parks that were built by some of the Fortune 500 companies. They're leaders of them. You know, Pittsburgh had more Fortune 500 companies in it than any place else in the country. And so these leaders of industry were very kind to the populace, and they built libraries and hospitals and beautiful museums, but they also built beautiful parks. I think I've mentioned this once before. They all have hiking trails in them, and even some have dog parks. And one has a trail that you can take your dog and walk your dog on it. And I believe you can even take him off the leash if he is well behaved. So nature restores you. Maybe you can just walk around. You know, we live in a condo complex now, our little condo that we're so happy in. People laugh at me because I really like it. It's close and snuggly, and I had my fill of big houses. I know that sounds funny, and it's wonderful for entertaining and when you're having people stay with you, but I'm thinking of just the 2 of us and maybe one of us at one time, him or me. You never know, and it's cuddles you up and you're happy and serene. And I go out and I walk around the complex a couple times just to stretch. And I don't try to beat my record of time, but do it in 5 minutes or something. I just go out. I try to go out in the morning, and that's when I talk to God by myself. Some of you think that's a little wacko. I don't. I've always done that. There's a song about walking in the garden with Jesus. So think about those things, okay? Be happy and spread joy when you're out on your walk. We have some elderly people that live in this complex, and I guess they've lived here for quite a while. But they don't seem to have any friends. Some of them have dogs, some don't. And I try to say hello to all of them in the morning when I'm out and walking. If I pass them, sometimes there's nobody out walking when I'm walking, because sometimes I go at 6 in the morning and 7 in the morning. And I think a lot of people who live by themselves tend to get up later and not get dressed. But so there I am out walking, and it's good morning, good morning. And you know what? They burst into smiles. They're so happy that somebody said something to them. Something so simple as good morning. How's your day going? Something little, or just a smile. If they don't say anything back to you, that's okay. They're startled more likely than not. And there are some that I have passed since I've been living here that then always say good morning to me. We don't stand and have a long conversation. Sometimes we do, but most of the time we don't. We just say, isn't it a beautiful day? And it's hard to get a bad day down here in the desert, I'll tell you that. It's always beautiful down here, always. I can see people walking past our condo now, looking out there. So that's good. I'm happy to see them out there. How about your emotional state, your state of mind? Mine has been difficult to get back up to a level of joy. But of course, I'm joyful and blessed to have, there it goes. I thought I got it this time. I've had a hard time. I'm joyful for my family, for my daughter and her children, and for my grandchildren that were left by their father. And I'm grateful for friends. But I'll tell you something, it's been very hard struggle. And one thing I've done is I'm not talking to my girlfriends as much as I used to. First of all, I've never liked to talk on the phone, not for friendship and not for business. I just don't like having to hold the receiver or stand there and talk or whatever. I like to be with the person. So I've kind of backed off of phone calls. But you know what? There are some people that are having so many problems they can't get up and get out of bed and go anywhere. And those are the ones we need to call on the phone and try to get them up and try to talk to them. Aging is difficult for some people. Some people want to take those infusions. I don't know. I think that living a good life, enjoying life, being grateful is the most important thing, and eating healthy and exercising, even if it's just little walks. We'll talk about more of that in a little bit, but you need to remember everybody else has emotional problems too. So try to remember the good times. The good times when the kids' friends would come to the holidays and, well, we're all together. But we'll be together just with different people, new friends, and our family. So how are you going to stay healthy during the holidays? You know, when we had the big houses, I like to cook. So for family dinners like Christmas, New Year's, Easter, what have you, usually we would go someplace on New Year's, so that didn't apply too much. But big holidays, Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, I like to do my own cooking. I love to cook. But we would have such a crowd that we would do a big turkey, and we would do a big prime rib with all the sides. Now that we're smaller, we might be just as happy to going up to my daughter's house, not too far away. So she's in charge of cooking this year, and she kind of resembles her mother. She's a mother, she's a wife, she is a registered nurse with lots of initials behind her name. and she just keeps getting promoted to this new job and that new job, and I'm very proud of her. She's got those kids to raise in the soccer matches, and then the tennis lessons and the swimming lessons and the surfing lessons and the basketball lessons. And how did I do it all? She does it plus what I did. She's an amazing person. Yes, I'm proud of her, but she is an amazing person. Even her girlfriends tell her that. So maybe you really need to carve out some time for yourself, for that walk by yourself, or just sit in the corner and read a few pages of poetry or a novel. Probably not a book on technology. Probably not a book on investing. Do something for fun. And, if it gets to be 9:00 at night and your eyes are closing, wake them up and adhere to your regular sleep pattern. Maybe it's 10:00. Sometimes I go to bed at 7:00 because I've gotten up so early in the morning to do something else. I get tired and I don't take naps during the day, which I know I should probably do that as I age, but I don't. And that's when I get too stressed out, I go take another walk. I know a lot of you journal. I sort of keep a little journal in my diary, in my calendar. And that jogs my memory of things that went on. I don't think I want to journal. I used to long ago. But do I want everybody to read my journal? Well, what an odd thing for me to say, because I'm beginning to write a book about my life. It's been like this. It's been blessed by God. I was raised as a Christian child. So that's who I depend on through my life. But I don't know that I want everybody to see every single thing I did. So, what was me? What do I leave in and what do I leave out? Because I'm certainly not an angel. So let's talk about your journal and all of that at another time. You know how to journal, you know how to put notes on your calendar. People now record videos for their kids or their grandkids. And I think that's kind of a clever idea. You see those on television, murder mysteries, where somebody thinks they're getting all of this money in a will, and everybody goes, oh no. The attorney comes up and says, oh no, there's a video that supersedes the handwritten will. And the gardener inherits everything, the business, the house, the gardens, all the banking accounts. It sticks like glue. So maybe video is the way to do everything. And maybe you could say, okay, Connor and Larkin and Leo and Nico, this is Grandma Mama and Grandpa Papa, and this is our little gift to you. We want to tell you a little bit about our early lives and what we did with you and how fun it was to go to the museums in Santa Barbara and see the dinosaurs and all of that. So why you can do that for Christmas. That could be one of their Christmas gifts. So take time out to do fun things like that too. I think with the way the economy is going and the uncertainty of the dollar, and it's real, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with President Trump. It has to do with Europe and Asia. And there's a lot of jealousy that goes on because President Trump is such a great businessman and has done such great things in the short return to the Oval Office. But I think it would be a good time to write down and study a new financial plan for yourself. Now, I don't usually tout people, but some of you women don't have your own banking accounts. Some of you still think If you have checks, you still have money. I swear to God, some of the very wealthy women, they supposedly have financial advisors, accountants, and just secretaries that book everything. And some of them don't know where their money is, quite frankly. Every woman should have her own account. She should have a savings account and a checking account. Of course, you should have joint accounts with your husband if you're married or whomever, and everybody should know where it goes and where the will is. And as I was just saying, but you need to learn to save money too. And I bet you only extremely wealthy women and more independent women even have investment accounts or someplace to put it. Now, I was reading my emails this morning. I follow Susie Orman, who is a great woman who has coached women in finance for probably 40 years. I don't know, but she's good. She just came out with a new financial product. And you're going to have to go to Susie Orman, S-U-Z-I, Orman, O-R-M-A-N, and you're going to have to look it up under her new product. And if you just put $100 a month in, I think she's paying you $100 bonus at the end of it. I could be very wrong because I was speed reading through everything in the morning as I do. And then I go back to reread articles and take notes if I feel it necessary. So this is a savings account. It's not a checking account. It's a savings account. You put $100 a month in it. And she has it paying 3.5%, which in this day and age is pretty good. Pretty good. Now, you used to be able to get a lot more, but you can't. And this is low funding. So it's not going to be as high as some of the television tells you they're going to pay you astronomical amounts of money to put your money in it. I don't know anybody who is a billionaire who constantly watches television, or for that matter, even a millionaire who watches television to see the commercials on television about investing your money. You know, you can call the people up, but I don't think you should call them up and just hand them a check. Call them up and see what they have to offer. That goes with listening to your intuition and your body. If it says you're too tired to go out for a great cocktail party and then a dinner, and you really just aren't up to it, listen to your intuition. Maybe skip the cocktail party and go to dinner. Be sure you have to send your sorries to it. I'm so sorry that I couldn't come. But after you've accepted an invitation during the holidays, it's really bad form to cancel at the last minute. So think about it. Think about the other person's feelings and the amount of work and excitement and joy they put into it, thinking you're coming to their party. Be careful what you do during the holidays. That's not good. So that's where I say no gracefully. Tell them why. Maybe your little boy has a strep throat or something. Maybe it's very serious. So think about how you say no gracefully. And when you're around that table having dinner on a holiday and there's people there you don't like, try not to sit next to them. And try not to be upset by the things they're saying that you don't like. Politics, the way you raise your kids, how you spend your money, stay away from those things. It's nobody's business what you feel like. You can express that to friends and colleagues and other people, but don't do it at a holiday table with family and close friends. It doesn't bring you happiness. It just makes everybody very nervous, very upset, and it will break your heart because you'll realize that people really don't like you, or they think your ideas are really stupid, or you think that of them. It's no time to bring out those kind of things or what somebody did to you 15 years ago. Just forget it. Go and be blessed that you have your relatives, because many people don't. And you never know, as they say, what somebody is going through. So be gracious, be kind, and enjoy yourself too. If you can follow all my rules, you should be fine and have a good time. So what are you going to do in 2026? What is that dream that you're going to carry through on? Are you going to start a business? You're never too old to start a business. You know, one of the ads on television that I like, I think it's on TikTok, on the television. I don't subscribe to TikTok, but I think they're doing a commercial. And I do believe they have pictures, videos of some of their members doing different things, showing people how to do things. I particularly love the one with the grandpa who has decided to show young men who are going to the prom or for their first job interview how to tie their ties. Now, what a wonderful thing that is, how joyous, because there's nobody in his household that knows how to tie it. His father is gone, his grandpa is gone, and there's his grandmother. And she's so thrilled that he's standing there watching the television with this TikTok video on it of this older man, teaching him how to tie his tie. And it's an interactive video that can speak to each other. How cool is that? I just think it's absolutely wonderful. So look what you can do to inspire somebody else as you're looking at things. Maybe you need to start a business where you could teach embroidery. Now, another person who's just learning about embroidery and joined it with people of all ages, and I mean all ages, is Max Alexander. Now, you've got to be on the internet once in a while, and sometimes you need to be on Facebook. You need to follow Max, M-A-X, Alexander. I think he's about 9 years old now, maybe 8 or 9. He told his parents he wanted to be a designer, not to learn to sew. He wanted to design and make evening gowns and outdoor jackets and street dresses that are street length. He started this. They indulged him. They thought, oh, this is a little strange for our child who was like 3 or 4. I mean, he was really, really young. So they indulged him and they got him some fabric and all. And as he grew a little older, they got him a sewing machine because he wanted a sewing machine. And the next thing, they got him bolts of fabric. And he has a world-renowned design business at his age. I think he's no more than 10 or 11, if he's even that old. I just get such pleasure out of watching this young man doing his dreams. And somebody said, what are you trying to be like? I can't remember what they said. Something like Ralph Lauren, who's a great designer. And he said, no, I'm Gucci. I'm going to be like Gucci. The little videos on the reels and the stories are marvelous, but you need to follow him and see what this child is doing. And maybe that can be on your wish list, to do something like that and teach these kids how to embroider or sew, knit, paint, anything that you do that you enjoy like that. They're lost talent now. People can't find them. And wouldn't that be wonderful? So, you know what? It's never too late for women over 70, 50, 70, 60, 80 to start and do new things. And what I want to tell you is, one thing is you need to be healthy. And I always have been wanting to help people And I've done a lot of that in my life. And a lot of it has been based in natural health rather than popping pills and taking injections and things like that all the time. And one of my friends, and she's been on this show, Georgie. Georgie is also a lovely Christian lady who goes and sings in the Catholic churches. She has a beautiful voice. She's been on here with some of my other favorite guests, Jeff Bonilla and Charles. Oh gosh, I always want to call him Charlie because he's so happy all the time. So at any rate, she introduced me to LifeWave, L-I-F-E, Wave, W-A-V-E, all one word, lifewave.com/Judith Mancini. This is a company where the founder, David Schmidt, has made these patches that are the size of a quarter, and they're phototherapy. No more injections and things like that, trying to get your body filled with the right ingredients that most of the time after these injections, they disappear out of your body within a couple of hours and most likely no longer than 24 hours. And they're very expensive, thousands of dollars. It's like these new diet injections, for God's sakes. Why they would do these now without more, I don't know how much studying they did of all these things, GLP-1 and all, synthetic or however they do it. They say it's natural. Well, the patches at LifeWave are all natural because they're phototherapy. They bring the light in from the outside, the ambient light that we all have, and we have light in our body. You know, God says we are filled with light, and we are. And this man, David Schmidt, developed for the Marine Corps the Navy SEALs. Before he started his company, he worked for them. And when his contract was up, after he developed something for these Navy SEALs to have more energy when they were diving and working on boats and trying to rescue people and all, he formed his own company, LifeWave. And their premier patch is X39, and it brings that in, and you patch it on yourself. I usually put it on my front here under my thyroid, or you can put it on the back of your neck. You can even put it on your clothes or under the clothes, because the light goes through, the natural light goes through and reactivates your stem cells, which most of us lose almost all of our stem cells being any good in our body, doing any good in our body around the age of 25. Well, we're all older. And I'll tell you, a day doesn't go by now that I don't wear a LifeWave patch. You've seen them on me here, but I can't take my dress off today. So just know I have it on, and they have many other patches. Just take a look at lifewave.com on the internet, or look me up and you can see what's on there, and you can sign up to be a distributor, because there is a little business there if you'd like to be involved, or you could sign up as a premier customer person. So I want you to do that and check it out. And if you decide to join and order something, I will see it, and I can guide you through things, and I can send you more information on the company, and it will make your holidays very jolly. Okay, that's it for today. I'm off to buy some groceries to make a wonderful stew for the first night that we get to my daughter's house, so she doesn't have to rush home and cook and do everything else. So that's what I'm doing today. That and working with other things and trying to build my LifeWave business, as well as my podcast. And I had a lovely letter from a lady today who has taken care of people with Alzheimer's, and she's written a book. And she actually contacted me to see if she could be a guest. I'm so interested in this because it is so rampant. So, Keith, stay tuned. And if you're listening, I want to get to your book today. I want you all to listen to that. I'll let you all know when that is. In the meantime, be grateful and remember, cherish yesterday, dream tomorrow, and live today.